Thanks for being on the show.
What time of episode is this?
Episode 33.
33. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Good. So, I brought you on the show because I have some serious questions.
Gotcha.
I have some serious questions to unpack here.
Okay.
If a bird had lips,
Oh,
could it whistle?
of course.
You
I can't do it. I can't whistle.
just kind of did. Um,
It was a sucking whistle.
so you actually wanted to come on the show because
What?
you wanted to talk about insurance.
No, I didn't. I'm here today to do a consultation with your audience.
You wanted to talk about life insurance, health
No.
insurance, dental insurance.
Well, we were talking
So
about
what's a
how.
PPO?
Okay, let me tell you about the PPO. It's huge. Oh,
Kobe's knocking at the
he's
door.
knocking at the door. He said, "Please, sir."
So yeah, you want to talk about insurance?
Okay, let's talk about insurance. What else you got in there?
Why did you want to talk about insurance?
I mean, I don't want to talk about insurance, just like insurance like that. I wanted to talk about like how after you get to a certain age, you should probably invest in things like insurance,
Mm-hmm.
even though it feels like a waste of money.
Right.
But then we started talking, and we were saying like insurance is basically a scam,
Well, yes.
but it's a scam that you kind of have to invest in.
Right.
It's like an essential evil.
Exactly.
It sucks.
It does.
And we were like, well, it's just basically just it's like they like position themselves in healthcare as like, oh, we help you get access,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just gatekeepers to the healthcare basically.
Gatekeepers?
They're gatekeepers. They're gatekeepers
Tell me
for
more about the gatekeepers.
they're keeping the gay in the hospitals.
Uh-huh.
Um yeah. And how like if you try to sign up, let's say like you just started a job and you're enrolling in your insurance plan at work, and you're like trying to read through the various plans and kind of compare and contrast like the differences.
Right.
They use this very like I don't want to say what is it, like I want to say like elusive language,
Mm-hmm.
like they
Like,
can't just tell you what services you're
right.
getting.
Like the terminology they use is meant to confuse you and
Yes.
meant to make you just unsure of what you're actually getting involved into.
Yeah.
And it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, because then you're unsure and then you're afraid to use it. So then
Right.
you're like, I don't even want to go to the doctor because I don't even know what my insurance does or doesn't do.
Right.
And I don't even want to call them because they're going to charge me just to talk to them.
Not only that, but even the whole calling process is like a pain in the ass to speak with a representative because half of the time they don't want to speak to you,
Yeah, they're annoying.
even though that's their job.
They're like, oh, what, you want to get help? You want
Yeah.
health care?
Why don't you read online? That's what they tell you.
Hop in line.
Just go online and read.
I know, and then you
It's
read
like
and
if
it's
I
so
knew how to read, you
confusing.
think I'd be calling you?
I can't read. And even if you can read, it's fucking confusing because you're
No, yeah, the terminology is meant to just
it's oppressive.
legally protect them
Yeah.
and then confuse you so you don't ask questions because then they're gonna be like, "Are you dumb? Did you
Yeah.
not read?"
Did you not? How do you not know what you're paying for? And
Yeah.
it's like, well, for like an average person who works all the time, and then if you know, someone who works a job where they're getting insurance for the first time, especially, and I think of like people that like immigrants, especially like when they get citizenship and then they're like, oh, they're working a job where they get offered insurance and benefits.
Hmm.
Like, how are they supposed to figure this shit out?
Right.
How, like they have to have someone to translate to them, and then the person who's translating doesn't even understand what they're reading either. They're just like, "Es PPO, es HMO."
Good job, babe. Um, yeah, so we were discussing this. So how when I was working at
How when I
beep beep
was.
beep beep. Yeah, when I was working at this company,
Oh yeah, we don't want to say.
I know. Um,
Just say it. And I'll get
You had to sell insurance.
when you worked for Dr. Fart.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Dr. Fart.
Um, okay.
His name is Dr. Fart.
No, this is a different job.
Oh,
I was like, who are you talking?
Dr. Fart.
Dr. Farti?
Dr. Farti.
No, different person.
Oh, okay.
Different corporation.
Oh.
How we were just talking about
Oh
this,
yeah, you're talking about.
how a lot of the Latino people just immediately agree to purchasing all of the insurance because they're so insecure about what they do, what they don't and do know about insurance,
Yeah.
about the law. They don't want to get pulled over. They want
Yeah.
to avoid as much conflict with the law as possible, so they'll
Mm-hmm.
like blow all their money on the insurance. And a lot of my coworkers would get excited. It was like all of us were supposed to be
It's
sharks,
like easy pickings.
and it was like, oh, let me get them.
Yeah.
They have a fucking rosary on their neck. I'm
Oh,
gonna get them.
shameless.
Yeah,
With the
and
rosary.
it's just like messed up because that is how a lot of people are. Just not just in car insurance, but in health insurance. Like
Mm.
they're suckers.
They
Life
prey. Yeah.
insurance.
They like prey on ignorance.
Right.
Because then if you're ignorant, you're going to be least likely to ask questions, and you're also going to be least likely to actually utilize the services you're paying for. So then they're just getting money in their pockets, and you're getting nothing out of it.
And you don't know how to use it. You don't know what you got yourself into, but you know that
Yeah.
you should have it because it'll help you avoid any conflict with the law,
Mm-hmm.
like just in general, actually. Because even if you get health insurance, it's a requirement here in California.
Yeah.
So just getting a insurance will avoid, any conflict with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like, I'm just gonna get whatever health insurance,
Yeah. Some bullshit health insurance
whatever.
that doesn't pay for anything.
It doesn't pay for
Or they're
anything.
like, send us the receipt, we'll pay you back. It's like, you asshole. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so insurance is a scam, but I guess we'll save that for another episode, right?
The scam?
Just the scam part
How
of
to
it.
scam next time. Seriously.
Yeah, because I don't want to get like too much into this topic.
The the point of
It
what I
was
was
actually a
saying.
joke that I mentioned it, and
Yeah, it
then
was a
kind of
joke.
just like
We started getting into it.
it got a little serious.
You asked me about it. I
Yeah.
mean, the reason why we even started talking about insurance
But actually,
before.
you should really look into your dental insurance because Dr. Farty was a scam
Oh yeah,
artist.
dentists. You should
Yeah.
definitely pay attention to what your dentist is doing.
All dentists in the South Bay and just in general, actually, I'm pretty sure
They're greedy.
they're greedy and they're scamming
They're
you.
opportunists. They see
They're
you.
totally scamming you.
They see what car you drove in. They're like, ooh.
If you're wondering, like, why do I have 6 cavities and only one of my tooth hurts? Like,
Yeah. You need to pull up in like your bummiest outfit with like the worst car ever when you go to the dentist, so they think like, oh, this guy's
it's poor.
get him out of here quick.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think the best advice is to always question your dentist.
And be like, why? Get a second opinion.
If you think they're scamming you, they probably are.
You know, and it's like most dentists know that you're not going to get a second opinion because no one likes to go to the dentist in the first place.
Right.
So who's going to be like, you know what? Let me go ask another dentist and
I
sit
did
there for
that.
two
So what
hours.
happened was I
Yeah, you're
went to
crazy.
a dental office that was like, yeah, I'll clean your teeth for free because at the time I worked at a dental office.
Yeah.
And so one of he referred to the office a lot. So he was like, yeah, I'll clean your teeth for free. Clean my teeth. And then he's like, you got 4 cavities.
You're like,
I
what?
was like, I don't even have any cavities. Why do I
Yeah.
have 4 cavities?
How do I have four all of a sudden?
He's like, we'll schedule you for next week and this and that. I was like, no. He's like, I'll give you a discount, whatever. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go to another dental office. And sure enough, I didn't have any
Yeah, of
cavities.
course not.
So I continued going to this dentist that was like, no, you don't have any cavities. It's weird that
Dr. Bro.
whatever. And
It's Dr. Bro, right?
no,
Oh, I thought it was Dr. Bro. The one that keeps texting me.
no, not that dentist.
You're due for a cleaning.
That dentist, I'm still iffy
Unsure
about him.
about?
Yeah, I kind of want to go a different one. But anyway, this dentist, I was like, no, you don't have any cavities. I was like, cool, I trust this guy.
Yeah.
And then I go to get my teeth cleaned from them, and the hygienist was like, so I'm going to use this antimicrobial solution, and your insurance doesn't cover it. So you're going to have to pay out of pocket, but it's going to benefit you a lot. So just, pay for it.
You're like,
I was
what?
like, no, I'm not going to do that because I already know,
From Dr. Farti.
quotation marks, what antimicrobial solution is.
Uh-huh.
And if my insurance doesn't cover it, then I don't really need it.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. So I was like, no. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, she didn't take no for an answer. I had to really
Yeah.
be firm with her and tell her, no, I'm not paying for that. I'm only here to do whatever my insurance covers.
Yeah, you don't need that.
And so she cleaned my teeth, and she was kind of pissed.
She's all annoyed with you?
Yeah, and she was like, next time we do a cleaning, I really advise that you do that. I
Damn.
recommend. And she was like being a little pushy about
What
it.
irked?
Yeah.
She extra rough?
She was a little rough.
It's like when you like say some shit to your barber and like right before the haircut starts, like
Yeah.
you don't want to do that.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? Screw you. I'm
Not coming back.
not coming back. And actually, I didn't not come back for that reason. I actually didn't go back because they were just playing games with my scheduling. Like, they kept
Mm,
having to reschedule my cleaning.
weird.
Maybe she was being petty.
Oh,
Maybe she
after the
didn't.
fact?
Yeah, that is weird now that I think about it. Like, maybe she didn't want to schedule me, and she kept canceling my appointments because she was like, "This bitch isn't gonna pay me
Yeah, she's gonna
extra."
say no about shit we're charging her for.
Yeah,
Like it's not your,
and I think
place to
about
do
it.
it.
But yeah, Dr. Bro, I'm iffy about him.
We're still, jury's out still on Dr. Bro, but
Don't trust your dentist.
don't just yeah, that's the point, right? Don't trust your dentist.
I know what they're doing behind the scenes, and it's not pretty.
Don't trust
And
your doctor either. Then
yeah,
don't
exactly.
trust any
Anything
doctor.
that has to do with insurance and a doctor,
Don't trust them.
don't trust them. Get second opinions
Yeah, don't
on
just like
everything.
don't just give them the benefit of the doubt. Doubt their
Yeah,
ass. Question them.
look at reviews
Ask
too. I think that
questions.
matters.
You know what? People should ask more questions for their services they're paying for.
Right. They should. And that it's overwhelming what insurance does because, yeah, people don't know what's the difference between HMO and PPO. And I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
But just look into
But someone
shit.
tell us what it is. I was
Yeah,
kidding.
please someone help me.
Please, someone, please.
Someone save me and get me out of here.
Um,
Yes.
yeah. And you know what's annoying? We were talking about this because we were saying like this is shit you have to pay for as an adult, and a lot of people like wait a long time to start paying for it, or they avoid it,
Yeah, a lot of people just don't have
or they
insurance.
don't have it. And that's, obviously you can't do anything about it if you don't have it. But if you have access to it and you're not paying for it, that's kind of silly because it's like, well, when you really need it, you're gonna fucking need it, and you're gonna wish you had signed up,
Right.
even for that shitty insurance that you saw that you denied
Right.
at your shitty job.
Yeah.
But you know, I've come to realize that it's worth to just have it and to invest in things like that because after some point, like it's not just about you and your bullshit anymore, and life's not as easy as like just going out every weekend and doing the same bullshit. Like you're like I gotta prepare and like plan and have like fail safes in case something happens to me or my family or
Yeah. Or even just maintenance, like, your back hurts,
yeah
you need to go see a chiropractor or whatever, like do that because if you don't, then your back's just going to be building up and then you're going to have a real back problem.
yeah. And you have to go see some quack.
Yeah, and then you're going to have to fucking get a surgery or like,
Oh god,
take some pills. It's going to be a real
some bills or
problem.
some pills.
I said pills.
Oh, take
My
some pills.
P's and my B's
You're gonna
are
take
they
some bills
sound
for
very
those
similar.
pills. Yeah, that was a little.
Yeah. So let's steer away from this topic because it might be already boring.
Let's talk about the mental health shit we were talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
About like since we're talking about taking care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
mental health. Like, what does it mean?
Huh?
What's it about?
Right.
Who's got it? Who does it?
What do you say?
I don't know. Like you should take care of your mental health.
Okay.
Not you, but like people. I think
Uh-huh.
too many people neglect it, And not only do they neglect it, but they're like enabled by those around them
Right.
because they're like there's like some form of codependency that they'll develop with other people, and then those people don't want to like hold them accountable or be like, hey, like you should, stop being fucking whack and go to the doctor.
Right.
You know.
So how do you take care of your mental health?
I mean, well, obviously, insurance is like one way you can do it, right?
Mm.
Like, go see a doctor, go talk to a therapist, go to group therapy. Like,
Would you recommend group therapy?
I mean, it's not for everybody. I myself personally didn't like really enjoy it, because then it turns into like a like a trauma competition,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just like weird. But I think more people
Do you have
are.
a story?
Do I have a story?
Yeah, I want to hear
I do,
stories.
but I don't really want to talk about the story because it's a little bit too long. The story's a little too. It's probably boring too.
Make it exciting, chop it up. I want to hear experience.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I mean, the last time I did a group therapy session, there's this like young girl in there who she was schizophrenic,
Mm.
and she basically like kept bringing attention to her and like how unsafe she feels and how basically like if she doesn't go to this group therapy session every week, like she's gonna have a hard time like staying safe. And so she was just kind of scaring everybody in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have to then like kind of like de-escalate and like all like offer support. A lot of it is just like pats on the back and like group hug shit,
Mm-hmm.
which it does work for some people. But this particular group therapy thing I did was through Zoom, and that
Mm.
was whack because you're like, this girl probably really needs like not constant attention, but she needs like constant care and like someone to check in on her.
Right.
And so she was making the whole like group therapy session like all about her and her
Mm.
needs.
She probably needs more one-on-one
She needed
therapy.
one-on-one shit, and she
Yeah.
had a kid, and she was like talking about how she's been having more hallucinations at work, and she was like a dental assistant,
Mm.
and she was talking about how she was hearing voices at work and like hallucinating things in the office, and it was like causing weird interactions between her and customers or like clients and her job, like
Mm.
people at her job. And like when people are asking you for help or like advice, and then you're trying to tell them because they're asking you, and you're telling them like you should try this and try that, and maybe this will work and help you, and then they're just basically like offering excuses for why those things won't work, and you're like, well, why did you ask me for help in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part about it was that the two people who were leading the group therapy session were not like totally invested in any single person there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think they can be. Just like they have to be pretty neutral, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not saying that they had to like play favorites. I'm saying that they weren't invested in the activity of the group therapy itself. They weren't invested in like
Mm.
trying to help anybody. Not that they had to be like, so maybe you should, like,
Well, I don't think therapy is just not saying that they're doing a good or bad job. I'm just saying like I think sometimes for group therapy, it's more about working with other people to like share your story and that makes other people feel better.
yeah,
And the person that's kind of navigating the conversation isn't really there to like do so much talking.
no,
I
they weren't
think
really navigating anything.
okay.
Yeah, I've been to sessions where yeah, there's good people who are leading it and hosting it,
Mm,
but these people were just like seemed annoyed.
mm,
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
They seemed like annoyed and like impatient. Yeah,
So group therapy is not for you.
therapy's out the window for me. But it might work for you. It might work for someone else out there. I mean, there's like AA. I don't know if you've ever been to AA meeting
Hmm.
before, but that's basically like a form of group therapy, kind of, right?
Yeah, it is.
And there's
It
like a one-on-one
definitely is.
aspect in a way. You get your sponsor, and then that's sort of like your accountability,
Accountability.
accountability.
Yeah, that's true. Um, well, there's different types of AA meetings.
Yeah,
It's not just being with the sponsor.
yeah, not every time, but after a certain point.
Sure, maybe. I think everyone does it differently.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, so do you have any more advice on mental health?
Why are you talking like that? You're talking like you want this to be done already.
I no,
So,
that's not true.
you got any more to say about the insurance and the health? Wrap it up.
No, I have to pee.
Why don't you go
And
pee?
because I don't want to edit this.
Just go pee. I'll keep talking.
What are you gonna talk about?
They,
By
it's
yourself?
between me and the audience. They'll say, "Hey, how's it going?
How's everyone
Welcome to
doing
the
tonight?
show. How y'all doing tonight? How about you out there in the crowd? I see you over there. Yeah, you on a date? You too?
Gonna do some crowd work.
Yeah, do some crowd.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about people that are full of shit
What?
and judgmental.
Oh shit! Are you on this list right here?
Yeah, and they're
Me?
picky.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, picky in what sense?
I guess like all those three things, like you can go on about a lot of those, a lot about something.
Mm-hmm.
People that are judgmental. Nobody likes judgmental Judy.
Judgmental Judy. I mean, I'm a little biased because I'm a little judgmental. I
You're
can be.
pretty judgmental.
I can be pretty judgmental. Um, I'm like about the principle things, and if
Hmm.
you're like don't give a fuck about things like that, then I get kind of like judgy.
I see. Okay, so like in those three things, it describes the type of person, and I've probably met a few of these people. Someone
Yeah.
that's full of shit, that is very picky, like complains about maybe being single or wanting to have a partner, but they're like really picky and they only
Oh,
want people that are like way out of their league.
they want like
Fucking
10
like
out of
they want an
10s.
Instagram model or something,
Oh shit,
and
yeah.
they're like a solid two.
Oh my god, damn harsh. I feel like you're like thinking of people in mind or something.
No, I'm saying I know a few people. I've met some people. And then people that are judgmental, I feel like that also falls into line with what type of person maybe this is.
Um, talking about me? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm like super picky like that. Um, yeah, I mean, people are full of shit, right? And if you
Yeah.
like listen to people long enough, then you start realizing that most people are
Do you think
full of shit.
everyone's full of shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think it depends on context,
I
like who
think
they're
if you
talking
don't
to.
admit it, you're also, oh, Kobe's
You're full of
knocking.
shit. Kobe's not. I don't think they can hear him.
Um, hey kid.
I think it depends on who you're talking to. I think like
I think everyone's full of shit,
I've tried,
including myself.
including yourself. I've tried to like be a little bit less full of shit than I used to be, and sometimes it like bites me in the ass for choosing to not be full of shit because it helps sometimes to bullshit people like at work, especially or like professional settings,
Right.
or even just like strangers. Like sometimes you just want to like get out of the conversation, but I've like kind of tried to steer away from that and not bullshit people and just tell them what I feel and what I think, and then I get sometimes I get called judgmental because I'm like
I guess that's not really what I'm asking. I was kind of saying like full of shit in a sense where like you're a little maybe and I know you won't maybe admit this, but I think a lot of people should, but it's more just like you're
me.
maybe too into yourself or you're too confident about something about yourself. You're
Oh,
too
you're saying that's what you mean by someone who's full of shit.
yeah.
They're too full of themselves
Yeah.
because they're shit.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right, that's different then.
Yes, I feel like that's what full of shit means.
That's not what I was thinking for some reason. I thought you meant like people who are just
Bullshitting. I guess we
bullshit.
can also talk about that too.
Yeah, that's what you meant, like someone who's just bullshitter. Like,
You are good at bullshitting though.
oh shit, damn, screw you.
Yeah.
You too. You're pretty good.
Not as good as you are.
Wow, not as good as you
I'm
are.
good at detecting bullshit just
Oh shit, me
because
too. I'm the bullshit detector.
I don't think so.
Ding 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 ding.
It's
It's
just
right
like
here.
sometimes I'm like, how do you not understand that I know that you're fucking bullshitting right now?
No, no, no.
Yeah.
You're actually better.
Do you know who my dad
You're
is?
the best bullshitter because you cover it up really well as it like under other things.
Bullshitting.
Yeah, you're good at
Like
bullshitting.
making up shit? I don't make
No,
up
you're good at
shit.
bullshitting. You're a bullshitter too, like all of us.
I know I can bullshit. I'm just not
Let's
as
talk
good
about
as
levels
you are.
of bullshit. Okay, well, We're not here to roast each other, or are we?
We could be.
No. Um, okay, we're talking about people who are full of shit. We're not talking about each other. Because when you say like you're pretty good, I'm like we're not on the same level of bullshit that the people we're talking about. You know, like
No,
we're
no
nowhere
way.
near that.
I don't think I would even be with you.
Okay, so basically, you are full of shit then.
Why? Why am
'Cause-
I full of shit?
I don't know.
Tell me.
Because you're just like with the shitting and the bullying and the. No, we're talking about like people that are like act like you can't see through their act.
Yeah,
Like they're fake, they're phony. They're the type of people that like force the hug. Were we talking about that last time? Forcing the hug?
that was a edit
That
that
was an edit, huh?
that didn't get
Oh
released.
shit, that was unreleased, vaulted.
Yes,
I'm being
it's
serious though.
actually vaulted.
I'm being secretly.
It'll probably air one of these
Double
days
air.
when I'm
The box
just
set,
like, yeah, I'm like a little desperate for content or
B
something.
sides.
Or an episode. Maybe I don't have time to do an episode and
Damn.
then
Do like a compilation
I'll just
episode.
release it.
Oh my god, release the Kraken. Um, yeah,
But yeah,
you
we were
know,
talking about where's my
yeah.
hug?
Where's my hug guy? We that was in the episode last week.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, where's my hug guys? One of those guys was one of those guys that's like full of shit. Or you know, like the guys that
I don't necessarily think where's my hug guy is always full of shit.
can
Um,
be. He's one of those guys that is
it can,
yeah.
yeah. I
Not
think a guy that is full of shit can be like, he's just like cocky, maybe, and he thinks he can maybe have anybody.
like
Um,
unrightfully so.
right. I
Like if you're
think
not
that's
Brad
full of shit.
Pitt or like fucking
Yeah.
I don't know who else. You just Elva Jason Momoa. I'm like trying to keep it diverse. Uh
I feel like Brad Pitt is cocky and full of shit, but he kind of has a right to be, right?
I hate that we're just talking about men because there's this hell of women that are also full of shit.
We're not just
We're just
talking
talking
about
about
it.
the men, and I'm sick and tired of it.
You're not letting the conversation like
I'm just kidding.
unravel.
Okay, that's unravel.
You always want to be like shitting on women.
What the hell? That's not true. I don't even like.
Anyway,
I don't even like
yeah, go
pissing.
off. Let's talk about women. What's the
Nah, I don't
problem
want
with
to talk about
women?
women.
I think that there's people that are very cocky and self-absorbed,
Yeah,
and they just think that they can treat anybody like however they feel like it. It's
yeah,
almost like they think maybe the world revolves around them,
yeah.
and it's very weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Also,
Um, because I think people need to ground themselves
oh, that's important. That's
a little
important.
more and realize that the world doesn't revolve around you, and that whether you're here or not, like the world's still going to keep going, and whatever you're doing or saying doesn't really matter. Okay, so an
Okay.
example, the other day I was interacting with somebody I had to because of work,
Yeah.
and I didn't give him something that he wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and he kept trying to intimidate me by looking at me straight in my eyes and kind of really being upset that I wasn't giving him something that he wanted.
So he thought he was like intimidating you with direct eye
Yeah.
contact.
And I guess that's worked for him in the past, right?
Yeah.
Usually men will do that. And I've encountered quite a lot of men actually that try to intimidate me by looking at me straight in the face when I'm
Yeah.
not giving them something that they want.
It's weird.
Um, and it's like, I know that's probably worked for you before, maybe amongst other women or
Mm-hmm.
even just people in general, but it's not working today. I'm still not, and I'm not going to give you what you want even more now, just
Yeah.
because you're doing this and because you think you're trying to manipulate me in some way, intimidate me, and it's not working. So the world doesn't revolve around you. And that's just an example.
Yeah. So he kind of like.
And I could see his appearance. Like, I can see that he's probably a guy that does get what he wants.
Mm-hmm. Like he's not used to hearing no.
Yes.
Those are
And
the most full of shit people.
yeah, I think so.
Not enough people tell them no.
Right.
Yeah. I think more people should just practice saying no in general. Like everyone.
I need help with saying no. and that's something I'm still working on.
It really puts people in check when you're just like, nah,
Yeah.
like what? Nah, I'm cool.
No explanation.
Yeah, just like
Because for
nah.
me, like I still say no. No, not every time, but I'll still say no. And then maybe I feel the need to like over explain why I'm saying no,
Yeah,
just so I don't come off like mean or bitchy.
no, that's true. I think also it's important to remember like saying no doesn't always mean just saying no. Sometimes it's like I can't, I don't
Right.
want to, I don't need to. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah.
You know, like shit like that. Like you don't have to justify shit.
Right. But let's talk about the people that
The people.
are, we're covering bases of a type of person that's maybe like attractive or charming in some way. But let's cover the people that are not so
The uggos.
stereotypically
So
attractive,
what the uggos
and
that are
let's
full of shit.
and they're still full of shit.
That's the worst, right?
This is a little interesting.
I
It's
don't know.
quirky.
I don't know what. It's a little quirk. I don't know what's more annoying. Like people, I don't know. It's hard to tell because like I'm not hard to tell. I can't decide because like at
Mm,
least attractive people, like an attractive person, you're like okay, I get why they're being this way because this works for them and it
in
works
the
for so many.
in the world, right? Like
Yeah,
in society, people generally give you what you want
yeah.
and
People are
they're nicer to
superficial and
you.
shallow,
Yeah.
and everyone is to some degree. Like babies don't want to be handed to an ugly person.
Yeah, babies don't like ugly
Babies don't like ugly
people.
people. So, and it's like, well, how do you decide if someone's ugly? Well, you hand them a baby. So, I think if you don't have anything going on for you physically,
Right.
or
Or even
or
like
elsewhere, yeah, or
personality.
elsewhere in terms of you, right? Like, and you're being like a full of shit, like,
There's so many men and women that I've come across that I like can think about them and I won't even think about how they look. I'll actually just think about their personality and how charming they are or how like funny or just like I've met so many people like that where it's like when I think about them, I think about their personality and what's inside of them, like their soul
oh,
and like the goodness of their hearts
oh,
sometimes. And it's like that carries on more weight than actually what they really look like.
yeah, you're just not a shallow person. But most people are also full of shit and shallow, so they get like those people get away with
Right.
the full of shit people get away because most people aren't like that. Like seeing the good parts of people and
Right, I
personality.
guess. I don't know. I don't really know how most people work. But um I think yeah, it irks me a little bit because it's like how are you going to be not only like not stereotypically attractive, but you're also going to be boring and dull and then also still be like picky about
Things and people.
people.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. Like you're ugly and you're just like obsessed with yourself
It's like you're
and
not
you think
only
like you
ugly outside, but you're
deserve all this
ugly
shit.
inside too.
Yeah, because you got to be ugly on the inside to think that way about yourself, right? In regards to other people.
I don't know.
You have to, right? Like, there's nothing attractive about someone that's like, I'm better than everyone and everyone sucks, and you're like not even anything.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I've come across a lot of men who are very delusional, and that's just experiencing like as a heterosexual woman.
Yeah,
Like I've come across men, guy friends even,
yeah.
that are delusional sometimes in like the type of person that they want
Oh, yeah,
in
that's true.
a as a
A
partner.
lot of guys like that, they shoot like outside of their range, outside of their
Right.
tier, and they shoot a little too far, maybe. And then like,
Not only that, but it's also like, oh, she wants me. It's like, no,
you're
she
like, what,
doesn't.
dude? She was doing her job. Like, she's a waitress. Like, what, bro? That was a cashier.
Like
Like,
there's so much delusion in men, and I'm not saying women just because I don't know from that end, but I've come across friends or
I get what you're
acquaintances
saying.
that are
I
also
agree.
delusional women. But just from my experience of like interacting with men, I'm just like, y'all are delusional.
I think it's worse than men because like women can be delusional about all that shit in the same way, But the thing is that men will enable that shit. So men will actually make them feel justified. They'll
Like
like,
other men,
yeah, like other men to
like
women,
friends.
women that are
Oh,
full of shit and delusional.
oh,
Men will like simp for them and like and just bend over backwards because like and it could be like some basic ass bitch too. Like it wouldn't even be like some
mm,
crazy attractive like cool person. And so that like justifies for those people why they're full of shit.
mm,
It's worse when it's a guy because like there's nobody even justifying this. Or you just like full of shit. You just think like I deserve like the bombest chick and like the best of everything because I just think this way about myself.
mm.
Or maybe they got I don't know. The worst is like people who were like like the common trope is like people that were really like something in high school. They were like
Ooh, they
the
peaked.
prom
I
queen or
love talking
king,
about people that
and they
peaked.
peaked. Yeah, they peaked
It's
physically,
so interesting.
socially, like in all aspects of their life. They sort of just peaked, and like that's all that mattered to them was like, oh, like everyone thought I was cool when I was like a kid, and
And
now
yeah,
I'm just like still cool because of that. But it's like
no one thinks about
no one
you
even remembers
anymore.
that anymore. No
Yeah,
one cares that
no
you were the
one has time to think about that. Like,
it. If you were a cool, decent person, yeah, and you were like the prom king or queen, or you were a really popular athlete, or like you know
hmm,
social light person in high school, that's like, and you were just a nice person, then like okay, that's cool. But we're talking about like full of shit people that just held on to that,
right.
and then they take that in the real world and they like apply all the high school archetypes to people in the real world, and they treat people like
Oh
that.
my God, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, like you go to a job and there's like cliques,
You're right.
and like it's like this. They're stuck in the same like mentality from high school, and it's so like ugly.
Yeah, it is. It's always the dumb people too.
It is. It's always like the dumbest motherfuckers that are
It's
like
always
that
the
too.
dumb people that treat you that way or feel like they need to isolate other people or feel they need to like be bitchy to certain people. I don't know.
Yeah, like they have to leave someone out.
Yeah, in order to make themselves feel better.
It's like their equalizer for them because they're
Yeah,
like, if I'm not above someone else, I'm nothing.
you're right.
It's like, well, that's why you're a shitty person because you like actually think shit like in a shitty way about people in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The picky people are really annoying, and I've met and have been friends with people that are like that. And I would not say I've been called picky before, and I don't think if you look at like women I've been with and stuff, I would not say I'm picky. I think they're all different, But I have had friends that are like really picky, where like they have no options, and they're like choosing not to date a girl or be with a chick because like I don't know, she has like a weird like birthmark on her neck or something. It's like no one's even looking at this chick's neck, and
That's
like
Betty.
that's
Yeah.
just like a little bit of character. Or like they're like, oh, it could be like a pretty conventionally attractive woman, and has just like even a slightest amount of interest in them, and they're just not willing to reciprocate because they're like, oh, she's got like a weird nostril, or she's got like weird eyelids, and like, bro, what are you talking about? You're looking at the eyelids, like you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Has a guy ever mentioned anything to you about an eyelid?
I've had friends and heard dudes in like workplace and just like social circles and friends like mention like the most weirdest, pettiest shit. That I'm like, what?
Oh
That's what you're
my
looking at?
God.
You're like, yeah, she's got like a weird wrinkle like by her like cheek. And like, what? It's so petty. Like,
That's so weird.
like, bro, what? You like,
And those guys that are saying that they are not tens, right?
hell no, they're not tens. They've got some shit that like nobody wants to deal with, and like
Right.
clearly like no one is like over here scrambling to be with them because like they haven't had. It's the worst when it's people who don't got any options. Like, why are you acting like that? You don't have any options.
Mm,
Give love a chance.
right.
Like,
That's true.
it's really weird because
There's a difference between having standards and expectations and then just being straight out like picky and for no damn reason, you know?
yeah,
It's
that's true.
like I don't know. Maybe if you're a guy and you're complaining about wrinkles on the cheek, maybe you're gay.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, right. It's a little like too superficial. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about like ugly guys, not that like like attractive men and women don't also do this because they do, right? Like
Right, they do.
that you could be. There's. I've also met pretty decently attractive men and women
Mhm.
who like think like the world fucking shines out of their ass and they deserve like anybody they want, or they go after like like what everyone thinks is like a 10, but then like they have like no personality, like
Right.
they're not even like funny. It's like, well, all you have to offer is like your looks, and like that's gonna go away like in not too long of a time.
Right.
So you have to have more to offer than just like how you look.
Yeah, I always come across people that are attractive. I always find them boring.
Yeah,
Not all of them. There are some attractive people that I've met, and I'm like, oh, she's really funny. Like,
yeah,
she's beautiful inside and out
down
in
to
a
earth.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's like, whatever. And it's like, that goes a long way
yeah.
versus, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a stereotype in my head, at least now, that attractive people are just boring.
They're like walls,
Yeah.
like a brick wall.
Like, you have nothing to talk about.
You're like, you have nothing to
You
say.
just
Like,
want to take pictures.
look at this TikTok. Like, what the hell? Like, that's that's like,
And now I feel like meme culture has saved a lot of people from not having personalities. Maybe that's something we can get
ooh,
into
don't
like
even
in
get
another
started with
episode
that
because
because that's a
I
thing.
mentioned it the other episode, but that is something that is
Oh yeah, you
saving a
did talk
lot
about
of
that.
people from not having a personality, just talking like a meme.
Yeah, like that shit I posted the other day on Instagram. I posted like it was like a Steven Smith, the sports commentator. His face, he's like all just like unamused, and it's like when people keep using like vibes, energy, the
Mm.
universe
Yeah,
manifests.
that's like what I posted literally like 6 months ago. The
Okay,
same
right.
exact meme.
6 months ago, recycling it.
Same
I
exact
saved it for later.
meme. And no, I'm just kidding. No, I did that. But
Okay, all right. Well, you were the first to do it. I was the second now,
I'm
so
just
in
kidding,
this
babe.
household,
I don't even think you probably saw that meme
I
that I
probably saw it. I
posted.
probably liked it.
Maybe you did, maybe you
I
didn't.
probably saved it and I posted it later, just like thinking
Okay.
you would not remember. But it's like that, right? Like
Yes.
people, I wanted to put a caption on there, but I felt like people would take it the wrong way. But like, I want to say like re, people, they try to replace their lack of personality with words like that, like
Right.
vibes, energy, manifest, positivity. Like they want to join some sort of like movement that they can attach an identity to, and like they're just like, oh, this ideology is me, that's my personality, and that's it. It's like, well, that's just like something that you're using to categorize yourself, but that's not a personality trait. Like,
Right.
just like, I don't know. There's so many things I want to say are probably problematic, but like that stuff could be super toxic and like annoying. The same way they're saying like, oh, like they want to call everyone else toxic, but that there's a toxicity to that mindset as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
subscribing to that belief set and like putting it on everything and everyone,
Right.
because then you're just as bad.
True.
You're just like, oh, toxic, toxic. It's just like stuff you don't want to like just deal with or listen to, and it's like you want to
Yeah, and that
dismiss
word
it as that.
toxic is very overused. And I know
It's
we use
ironic.
it, but it's just like,
It's actually, I mean, it
you know
can be
how
a good
like
word, but
it is a good word to describe a lot of people,
poison. It's
ironically.
poisonous.
But how people were using the word like gaslighting,
Oh yeah, that's another
and
annoying
it's
one.
like you just learned that off of a meme.
Gaslighters love to use the word gaslight
Gaslighting.
before you call them out on it.
They like to say toxic. All these hot words now, like mental health, toxic,
Oh god, and it's always like the
gaslighting.
most unaware people. It's always the most
It's
unaccountable,
best for my
unaware
mental
people.
health.
Yeah, they like want to like dismiss accountability with these words that they're
Right.
replacing for their personality,
And
and
it's
they're
words
like,
that they found in memes.
I saw this on an Instagram like infographic, and I love it. It was pastel.
Right. Pastel.
It was a pastel
Uh-huh.
infographic post.
Hmm.
Yeah, that shit's annoying.
Yeah. People need to get more personality.
I was,
How do you get personality?
how do you
You're
get
being
personality?
being bullied?
Honestly, yeah, like you have to deal with some sort of adversity. If you haven't dealt with any type of adversity or like struggle or just even just like, I know it's like fucked up, but like if you weren't like hit as a kid, like you're probably like a bitch. Like you're probably annoying.
Yeah. If you're wondering what I was looking for in my phone, because I don't know,
Yeah,
you
you're
kept
being
looking at
rude.
me. I was actually looking for this list that I created a couple of years ago when I started noticing all of these phrases, all these terms were like sounding really similar
Yeah.
from the same people. I'm like, what? It's a list I created, and there's these hot words like triggered,
Okay.
pressed,
Pressed.
who hurt you, it's not that deep, be gone, ho,
What the hell?
thank you, next.
You're
That
on
was,
Black
I
Twitter?
heard that for a while. Um, this ain't it, chief.
What?
I'm crying. I'm
I'm
rolling.
crying.
Dead. Goals. New phone. Who dis?
What the hell? You're
Um,
just taking like our generation's.
yes, I feel attacked. I'm crying in the club right now.
Oh my god.
I just want to talk. Asking for a friend. Today years old.
What?
Weird flex, but okay.
Holy shit, this is
Out of
weird.
pocket.
You're being out of pocket right now.
Cackle. um, Big L.
Oof.
Rest in
Hold
peace.
this L.
You wildin', but go off.
Oh my god.
Disappointed, but
Slay.
not surprised.
No more.
I'm in my villain
No
era.
more. You're just going too far. There's too many. I
And
get what you're
I
saying.
put blank vibes because
Oh my
that's
god,
like a
yeah.
fill in.
Anything vibes, right?
And yeah,
Pe-
the villain era is a funny one
you know what I realized?
recently.
I
What?
realized that people don't have any grasp on adjectives. Like they don't know how to describe things. They don't know how to articulate themselves. So they look to like social media trends and like language to communicate with other people.
hmm
And it's also like a easy like very like surface level way to like communicate with people that you think um don't have anything to offer.
Right.
So you just like talk in this weird
Meme way.
meme talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
this weird like internet talk, like you're on a fucking like your aimbot
Right.
vibes.
Yeah.
Go off.
No cap.
Triggered. Rap. You know,
That's the
like
new one too. Well, not new one, but it's as of
you're
lately.
old. No cap.
No cap.
You know, I don't like it.
Me neither.
It's because, you know, I joked around and said you were just like you're browsing Black Twitter when you made this list, but
I don't even go on Twitter.
I know, but that's what the joke though is like the most annoying part is a lot of these phrases are like appropriated from like
Black
black
culture.
culture, you know?
Yeah, they are, and
And it's a lot of it's black gay culture too.
that's just like another topic I had written down on my list of topics of just
Yeah.
like appropriating Black culture and how the newer generation is doing that
So
without
weird.
knowing or even being aware of what they're maybe saying or doing.
Yeah.
Because yeah, a lot of these terms actually come from like the East Coast
Yeah.
of
Well,
like
most
Black
of them.
culture,
Yeah.
and it's, I don't know, it's out of pocket.
I want to say that gay black people specifically like originate a lot of this shit.
Yeah, it's crazy because like, like work,
I'm
queen.
talking about traditional gay. If you're listening, I'm talking about like traditionally gay black people. I'm not talking about like you're like they them and you're like
Like
by.
RuPaul.
Yeah, we're talking about like like because if you're our age and you like identify as like anything else that's not just like traditionally gay, like
Yeah.
you're probably just as bad as these people we're talking about. But we're talking about like
Don't worry, this podcast only has like less than 1% of
yeah.
a non-binary person.
Okay, well, like
Yet or still. I mean, I don't know.
it's
Hoping
not,
there's
I'm
more.
saying like this was stuff originated by like OG gay crowd, like
Yeah.
black colored gay people were saying
Yes.
shit like this, and you just mentioned RuPaul and like and now there's words that like somehow became really popular with like people on Twitter and Instagram and it's weird. How did that happen?
Yeah, it's crazy,
How the
right?
hell did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. And
It's
now it's
so
like these
weird.
kids are talking like that. And it's like,
Yeah,
and then,
well, you're talking
and
like a
it's
drag
weird.
queen.
It's weird how like
It's cool, but
a certain generation now gets the credit for talking like this, but it's like,
yeah,
it's actually not
that's what's
them. They're
annoying.
picking it up from a culture.
Yeah, like people that don't know anything about that culture are like, this is how the kids talk now. But you're like, these kids are talking like old gay people. Like,
Or just like, yeah, well, I mean, let's say it's Gen Z that's talking
yeah,
mostly like this.
Gen Z is claiming this language, but they've appropriated it from a whole subset of cultures
Right.
and a whole nother
They
culture and
think they're
race.
like the cool ones that like are it's like you didn't come up with this.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
It's weird how you're giving yourself so much credit for all of these your style, your
I
language,
know,
for
like
all these things.
I'm
It's
tired of
like
seeing this shit.
I'm tired of seeing people give Gen Z too much credit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just what I'm sick of.
Like the Edgar cut, or like the kids, like you, like, remember we were like at the gym one time and we saw like there was like an Asian kid, a white kid, like an Indian kid, and a not one black kid in the group. They all had curly Edgar cuts, like perms.
Yeah, they get perms.
Like none of these fuckers had curly hair as a baby. Like,
Right. Especially that Asian kid.
it's such a random. It's so funny because it's probably how people felt like, when like the Bee Gees and all that shit came out. Like white people were trying to make funk music and disco.
They were getting perms.
They were getting perms and afros and shit.
Yeah.
And everyone was probably like, "What the fuck? Why is this?
How silly.
Why is this Jewish dude have an afro?" Like,
Well, Jewish people do have curly hair.
yeah, that's true, they do. But do they really grow like like a tight 4C afro? Like,
I don't know. Was Bob Ross Jewish? What was he?
I don't know
He
what
had
Bob
a
Ross
solid
is.
fro.
Bob Ross did have a solid fro. He was a good guy. Good people. Good people. Mr. Bob Ross.
Yeah. Well, we didn't dive into too many of these
We
topics,
didn't. What else was on here? Let me see.
but
What else were we gonna talk about?
we only have a couple minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's talk about people that think they have a chance but never did for the next
For
3
the
minutes.
next
That's funny.
episode, because that's like a whole thing.
Really?
I think
People that
so.
think they have a chance at what?
Just any person.
Oh,
Because
like in the dating realm?
remember I did a poll,
You're right. You did do that fucking poll.
and it's like, well, people they think that they have a chance because you were nice to them,
Oh, that's the
or like they
worst.
confuse that with like being into them.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting how many people voted for that poll.
I mean, I've been guilty of that before. As I got older and a little more experienced, I realized, like, just because a woman's being like nice to you, although sometimes it is like a little too much. Like, okay, now you're being a little too nice. But also, you have to realize, like, sometimes attractive people manipulate situations and interactions
By being nice
by
and
being
flirty,
nice and flirty.
maybe.
So they try to get something out of you, or they try to
That's
just
true.
get just get you to be cool with them or nice to them, like,
Possibly.
or get But like,
That's for another episode.
yeah,
But yeah, we didn't really get into much today, but let's just end it here.
we didn't get into much. I think we talked about a good amount of shit. We
Insurance.
talked about like appropriating like language and like
Yeah, but we didn't really dive
slang
into
and
that. But
being ugly,
I'm just saying
picky.
we'll save it for another episode.
Let's finish talking about these ugly people who are picky. Let me tell you
No,
something,
I
okay?
really
If
have
you're
to
ugly
go.
and
I
you're picky,
have to
she's gotta
go.
go, and I'm gonna stick around and I'm gonna finish explaining that. If
Fine,
you're
go
ugly,
ahead. I'm out of
and
here.
you're,
I gotta pee.
if you're ugly and you're picky, stop it, okay? Just stop it. I'm not saying don't have standards. I'm saying just stop.